Citi almost always gets overshadowed by the behemoths in the credit card space in the form of Chase and American Express. We're going to be comparing the Citi Strata Premier with the Citi Strata Elite, the latter of which was recently announced by Citi as their elite tier credit card. Now you may be wondering why I'm trying to compare two credit cards within the Citi ecosystem that are in completely different segments. Well, the answer is pretty simple. If you're trying to build a Citi setup, probably going to end up choosing one of these two cards and not both. If you're new here, my name is Abhilash. This is Credit Debit with Abhi. And if you like content like this, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you're interested in learning a lot more about the Citi Strata Elite, click on the video link up there. And like we do in all of our videos, without further ado, let's dive into this one. We'll divide this comparison into three parts. Number one, we'll compare the basics of the credit card. Number two, we'll get into the personas that can be fit for either of these credit cards. And number three, we'll get into the final decision, my choice. Let's start with the basics of the credit card. I'm going to talk about the annual fees, the benefits, the multipliers, and the transfer partners. And let us begin with the Citi Strata Premier. This card comes with a $95 annual fee and not much in the form of benefits. You get a $100 annual hotel credit when you book a hotel through the Citi travel portal, but there is a catch because you have to spend more than $500 excluding taxes and fees for this particular stay. I've said this in my previous videos as well. If you're someone who cares about hotel status like I do, you're probably better off booking directly with the hotels, but your mileage may vary. So for all practical purposes, the effective fee on this credit card for you could be $95. And as for the multipliers on this card, the card really shines. You get 3x on a bunch of categories: airlines, hotels, gas stations, supermarkets, EV stations, and also restaurants. You also get 10x when you book hotels, car rentals, or attractions through the Citi travel portal. I'll come to the transfer partners in a second, but let's talk about the Citi Strata Elite. This comes with a $595 annual fee. That is steep. And I'm not going to go through all the benefits here. I'm just going to focus on the ones that I think make sense. So the ones that I'm going to be skipping over are the Black Lane credit, for example, which is $200. But the ones I will mention are the $300 annual hotel credit when you book through the Citi travel portal, and a $200 annual splurge credit that can be used on Best Buy and American Airlines, amongst other brands. You also get access to priority pass lounges as well as 4 Admiral Club passes. If you do not know what those are the United Club equivalent lounges for American Airlines, but not as good. You get 3x back on dining except for Fridays and Saturdays, where between 6 p.m. EST and 6 a.m. EST, you can get an elevated 6x back. Similar to the Premier card, here you can get 12x back on car rentals, hotels, and attractions booked through the Citi travel portal, but you also get an additional 6x back when you book airlines through the Citi travel portal, and you get 1.5 times back on everything else. So unlike the Premier card, it gives you an everything else category, which can make things interesting. Now let's talk about transfer partners. With the introduction of the Citi Strata Elite card, Citi also announced that American Airlines was being added as a new transfer partner, which is a huge thing because there are no other points ecosystems that can transfer to American Airlines. Bill did it for a while, but that's no longer valid. But the interesting thing is that even though the partner was brought into the Citi ecosystem because of the Citi Strata Elite, even the Premier card gets access to American Airlines as a transfer partner. So what are some of the personas that can appeal to either of these cards, or in some cases both? And for each of those personas, what should people be picking? At least according to me. I've picked a total of 4 personas that made sense to me. There could be others, but these are the critical ones that I thought of. Number one is the luxury traveler. This persona likes to have lounge access, some perks on their credit card, and may even use a credit like the Black Lane credit that I completely brushed aside when I was describing the benefits of these cards. Moreover, the luxury traveler does not mind spending out of pocket on nice hotel experiences, and probably also wants to have a card that has some clout. Given that the two cards we are comparing here today are in completely different segments between the Premier and the Elite, the answer for this particular persona is pretty clear, and that is to go with the Citi Strata Elite. There are a bunch of reasons for it, like the priority pass lounge access, Admiral Club lounge access, the availability of a $300 annual hotel credit, also the $200 that you can potentially use on American Airlines. And when you compare that to the Premier card, all you have is a $100 hotel credit. While that's a decent benefit, that's the only thing this card offers in terms of benefits. And so the choice between the two is pretty clear. The second persona I want to talk about is someone who wants a one card setup. Both cards can make a bid here, especially because the Strata Elite card has this everything else category where you get 1.5x back. If you're someone who wants a one card setup, that 1.5x can really add up over the course of the year. That's 50% more points on a bunch of miscellaneous categories that are not covered by most credit cards. Moreover, you can make the argument that this is a card that offers you access to lounges. So if you're ever flying out of an airport, chances are you're going to be able to get into a priority pass lounge. The overall multipliers on the card are not that strong, if I'm being honest, unless you want to use the Citi travel portal, which if this is a one card setup, you could absolutely do. Then let's look at the second bidder for this particular persona, which is the Citi Strata Premier. The mainstay for this card in this persona category has got to do with its multipliers. You get 3x on a bunch of categories. And if this is a one card setup, you can earn a tremendous amount of points that are meaningful over the course of the year without having to use the Citi travel portal. While you can use the Citi travel portal to earn 10x back on hotels, car rentals, and attractions, you don't really have to. But you get 3x back on a bunch of categories like I outlined above. And most people do spend on these categories. The place where it punches above its weight is that it gives you 3x back on gas stations as well as supermarkets. All in all, there's a case to be made for both of these cards in this particular persona category, so I'm going to call this persona category a tie between the two cards. The third persona I want to be talking about is the American Airlines Loyalist. The Citi Strata Elite might seem like the obvious choice here, but I disagree. Hear me out. With the Citi Strata Elite, you can use the splurge credit towards American Airlines flights, which gives you $200 back every single year. You also get access to 4 Admiral Club passes, which can be a lot of value to you if you're an American Airlines loyalist. Those sound great on paper, but here are the issues I have with it. Number one, Admiral Club lounges aren't the best lounges that are around in the US airports. But if you have a different credit card that gives you access to a different lounge, I'd happily choose that over the Admiral Club lounge. Number two is that you're prepaying a pretty high annual fee for things you may or may not use. So if you look at this credit card, the $300 annual hotel credit as well as the $200 splurge credits are ones that you could potentially value at 100%. Even with that, the effective annual fee on the card would be $595 minus the $500 here. So you're still paying $95 for a credit card, but what you're doing is you're prepaying for a bunch of benefits that you may or may not use. If you're an American Airlines loyalist, you're much better off getting an American Airlines specific credit card. And there are different tiers of credit cards within the American Airlines portfolio with Citi that gives you access to lounges if that's what you care about, or points that help you hit status with American Airlines. Why would you spend $595 on this card? And number three, and most importantly in my opinion, is the fact that American Airlines is a transfer partner from both of these credit cards. If you care about making a fancy booking by transferring over points, one, the Strata Premier is probably the better card to earn more points, and number two, it doesn't really matter which one you hold to be able to transfer over points to American Airlines. So for an American Airline loyalist deciding between these two cards, save the money, get the $95 Citi Strata Premier if you have to get a card between the two. Use the rest of the money that you saved by not choosing the Strata Elite and spend it on a Citi American Airlines credit card that gives you access to status by spending on the credit card. The last persona I can think of is a value seeker, and here the Citi Strata Premier is the no-brainer. If you're a value seeker and you're looking for that one luxury credit card in your portfolio, there are other luxury credit cards that are also coupon books, but much better coupon books. So if you have to get a coupon book, just get a better one. But if you're the kind of value seeker that's looking for value out of their credit card, the Citi Strata Premier is very hard to miss because all you'll need to spend on the credit card is about $3,200 every single year to break even on the $95 annual fee if you never use the $100 annual hotel credit that you have on the credit card. Whereas for a value seeker with the Citi Strata Elite, my bet is that you would probably end up spending on categories and areas that you wouldn't have spent on. You are spending on because you have the Citi Strata Elite and you have these weird credits to use. So for a value seeker, the card I would recommend is the Citi Strata Premier. So with all of those personas covered off, where does that leave us with the decision making? And this kind of comes back to the title of this video, which is the concept of less is more. And I do believe that's true here as well. If you look at the 4 categories that we chose, the Citi Strata Premier in my opinion came out ahead on 2 of those categories and broke even on a 3rd category. So if you're keeping score, that's 2.5 to 1.5. And even if you're not looking at objective scoring parameters, the Citi Strata Premier just makes a lot more sense if you have to have one of these 2 cards. The only scenario where I could agree with someone about choosing the Citi Strata Premier is if they are choosing the card to get the intro bonus and then a year later they're going to downgrade the card anyways. That's my conclusion, but let me know if you think differently about this comparison in the comments below, and like always, I'll see you in the next one.